EU Parliament Committee advances proposal to cut visa-free access for CBI countries. The European Parliament's Committee on Civil Liberties, Justice and Home Affairs has voted to approve amendments to EU visa regulations that would explicitly target countries offering citizenship by investment programs, potentially endangering visa-free access to Europe for numerous nations, including the Caribbean Five: Antigua and Barbuda, Dominica, Grenada, St. Kitts and Nevis, and St. Lucia.
Okay, so a few weeks ago, I did a video reacting to an article that was leaked to the American media about a list of countries that Donald Trump intended to ban. And on that list, it was a color-coded list. And on that list, there was a yellow list. And on the yellow list was Antigua, Barbuda, Dominica, St. Kitts and Nevis, and St. Lucia. And in that video, I was one of the first persons to say, look, I believe that this has to do with the CBI, the Citizen by Investment Program. I believe that this would be the reason why Donald Trump would have these islands on the list. And there was a bit of a pushback. People were saying, no, this was because of the Cuban medical program. And I'm like, no way, because if this was about the Cuban medical program, then Jamaica would be on the list, then Trinidad would be on the list, and other Caribbean islands. So fast forward, now we're seeing news coming out of Europe about the European Parliament moving forward with a proposal to cut visa-free access to these islands. And what came up again? The Citizen by Investment Program. And this program, there are people in the Caribbean that are for this program. This program has greatly benefited the islands that are part of it in terms of infrastructure, in terms of healthcare, in terms of just basic infrastructure that these islands need. But over the years, there are people from different islands that are part of this program that see this as a lot of people abusing this program, and there are people against this program, not just now since Donald Trump, the Trump administration came in and this came back to the front page news. This has been an ongoing talk in the Caribbean community. And this story have been also all over European media. And that's why when the Trump administration, when I saw this news a few weeks ago, that's why one of the first things I said that this is bigger than the Trump administration, because this is something that I've heard a while ago since the pandemic. And I've been following what is going on in Europe, and Europe have been leading the trend in terms of what is going on now with immigration. I know we think it's all about Donald Trump and America, but this started from 4 years ago, I would say. We've seen the escalation in this whole immigration issue in Europe, and this was one of the things that came out of Europe. But a lot of people don't believe when you talk about articles out of out of UK or out of Europe in general. And so what I did, I went and I did some research, and I was able to find clips. There are a lot of clips out there. I was able to find a local clip of the local news in St. Lucia. And this clip was from 8 months ago. This is way before anyone knew that Donald Trump had any chance of winning the election. And this news came out about the CBI in trouble, and a few of the prime ministers from the different islands went to the UK to meet about this same program that we're talking about. So this clip is from the local St. Lucia news. Let's take a look.
On Monday, the Prime Minister's office issued a statement disclosing that he had traveled to Brussels to engage in discussions with the European Commission and European Parliament. According to the statement, the purpose was to hold talks on proposed changes to the Schengen visa-free regime and how they may impact regional countries that have investor citizenship programs. Recently, Dominica, Grenada, Antigua and Barbuda, and St. Kitts and Nevis signed a landmark agreement to address concerns raised by the European Union over their CBI programs. St. Lucia, however, did not. At a press conference on Tuesday, opposition leader Alan Chasney indicated that this, together with recent changes made to the country's CIP, could seriously undermine the program as well as visa-free travel to the EU.
The Prime Minister's office yesterday issued a press release that the Prime Minister has gone to Brussels to meet with the European Union to discuss the Citizenship by Investment program. The opposition has been reliably informed that in fact Mr. Pierre was summoned due to serious concerns about the operation of this program. The recent addition of an infrastructural option have collectively undermined confidence in our program. This raises serious security and transparency concerns and threatens to impact our current visa-free access to the United Kingdom and Europe, which will necessarily include Martinique and Guadeloupe. There's also very real risk that the US and Canada could reverse their recently granted concessions to allow us to apply and renew our visas online.
For almost 2 years, the opposition has been warning about the current administration's management of the country's CIP and its potential consequences. However, according to Chasney, their concerns have been ignored.
The government has also launched a new option which will allow certain approved developers to undertake infrastructure projects for the government and to reimburse themselves by selling our citizenship for $100,000 US and receiving the funds directly. The government has to date not informed the people of St. Lucia about this new option, but there is already evidence that a particular developer has begun selling this option, and even more concerning is the subpar selling price of US $80,000.
The memorandum of agreement signed between the 4 OACS countries on March 20th represents the CBI countries' commitment to maintain the integrity of their programs by adhering to common standards. The MOA outlined several provisions, including setting a minimum CIP price threshold to US $200,000, as well as establishing common standards to manage the communications and promotion of the CIB programs. At Monday's pre-cabinet briefing, Investment Minister Dr. Ernest Hilaire explained why St. Lucia chose not to sign the agreement. He asserted that St. Lucia supported every provision of the MOA except raising the price threshold to $200,000 US. He explained that the government decided to maintain the current minimum investment threshold due to commitments with applicants already registered in the program.
And we wanted a discussion on it. Why? Because we were already up there. The last government brought down the price in line with every country. Since then, we have negotiated financing, negotiated projects in housing, in infrastructure, and now they want the price to go up to 200. And we said, well, look, you've built all your houses, all your roads, all your hospitals. We haven't. We're just about to start. Well, can we get a grandfather clause that says let our contract runs out and then we are prepared to increase? And they decided to go ahead and sign it. We have to protect the interests of St. Lucia. We have to protect the interests of our people. And our view is that we're not against it. We wanted it from 2015 to be like that. In fact, more than just the price increase, we wanted an annual quota. We wanted a net worth for each individual applying. Those were the standards St. Lucia had set. So we have no difficulty in putting in place arrangements, and we support the efforts of the countries. But we were saying, give us some time.
The leader of the opposition, however, rubbishes the investment minister's explanation as a feeble excuse.
It's a simple thing to resolve. You just say, as of such and such date, the price is going to change to $200,000. Anything that's given before, we'll accept the $100,000, we'll process it at $100,000. But moving forward, it's going to be $200,000. It's irresponsible excuse, and certainly if they maintain that posture, I only fear the worst for us in St. Lucia.
While the opposition fears the outcome of ongoing talks in Brussels may not be favorable to St. Lucia, Dr. Hilaire, however, believes that there is no threat to the existing visa-free travel regime.
Prime Minister now is in Brussels and he'll be meeting over the next couple of days. St. Lucia has quite a few suggestions we want to make as to how to strengthen the program, and we hope when we present it, they will all be agreed to.
Here at Carib 21, I'm on a mission to showcase the vibrant culture and the breathtaking beauty of the Caribbean while showcasing our culture and what is trending. If you want to support me on this mission, please subscribe. And if you also want to support, you can hit the comment section and buy me a cup of coffee. In order to buy me a cup of coffee, you can follow these instructions. Just click more. You will see the link to buy me a cup of coffee. Click the link. you can purchase 1 or 2 cups of coffee and you'll be helping me to fulfill this mission. Thank you. Okay, so that report is coming out of the Caribbean, out of St. Lucia, and you can see the opposition leader and the Prime Minister of St. Lucia and the opposition leader sounding the alarm that the program, the Caribbean, the Citizen by Investment program in St. Lucia could be in danger if the Prime Minister don't address it correctly. And fast forward 2025, this is what is happening now, where we see the European Parliament Committee advance the proposal to cut visa-free travel. And this is so unfortunate because people, yes, as I said, the program was very beneficial or is very beneficial to a lot of the islands that are part of it. We have seen hospitals, we have seen government buildings, we have seen roads and just infrastructure that is needed. But the European Union, the UK, governments across the world, even up to America now, believe that this program was mismanaged, that this program was abused. Few of the concerns were like money laundering, and there are also concerns about countries that were banned, like, for example, on America's ban list, or countries that are on the UK or any country in Europe, the list of countries that are banned from entering those countries, that people could easily sidestep the system, go to one of these islands, obtain a passport, and then they can easily get into any of the European Union countries. They can get into the UK, or they can easily get into America because of the power of these passports. So guys, sound off in the comment section. Let me know what are your thoughts on this story. Who do you blame for this? Do you blame the leaders in the Caribbean for not fixing the program, for not addressing the concerns that the European Union had? And as I said, this is ongoing for over, I would say, since the pandemic. We've seen this escalated. Do you blame the leaders in the Caribbean, or do you think that this is just Europe and America trying to kind of muffle the Caribbean, trying to keep Caribbean people from traveling all over wherever they want to go? Sound off in the comment section and let me know your thoughts on this. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing content. And remember, peace. I'm out.